We covered hundreds of stories on the break in 2024, from Novak's Olympic run to Simona's return to pro tennis. This season was full of incredible moments, and as the season comes to an end, we decided to rank the most notable moments from the past year. I'm Andrew Guy, and these are the top 10 stories from 2024. Kicking things off with number 10, the bee invasion at Indian Wells.
They're looking to form a hive, aren't they?
One of the weirdest things to happen on a tennis court in recent history came when a swarm of bees halted the Indian Wells men's singles quarterfinal between Carlos Alcaraz and Alexander Zverev.
Yeah, loads of little bees are these that are circling ahead.
Just 15 minutes into the match, hundreds of bees descended into Stadium 1, eventually settling on the Spidey Cam. This has never happened before at Indian Wells, but it actually has a logical explanation. March is swarming season for bees in Southern California. When the queen bee landed in the camera, the rest of the swarm followed suit. 90 minutes and one heroic beekeeper later, the match was resumed. No stings reported, by the way.
We believe that the queen bee is somewhere in there. I just can't believe he's got nothing on, this guy.
Number 9, Simona Halep's return to pro tennis.
Simply being back playing tennis today, probably right up there for the remaining. What a reception.
At the beginning of 2024, the former world number 1 was in the middle of a 4-year ban from pro tennis after testing positive for banned substance roxadustat at the 2022 US Open. But after a lengthy appeals process, the Court of Arbitration for Sport reduced her ban from 4 years to just 9 months in March. Just 2 days after she was cleared, Halep accepted a wild card into the Miami Open. She'd lose in the opening round to Paul Badosa, but said in her post-match press conference, "Playing so well, feeling so well on court, I would say that this day is going to stay very special for me." Coming in at number 8, Zendaya's tennis takeover. This year, tennis entered the mainstream in a big way after the release of Challengers starring Zendaya, Mike Feist, and Josh O'Connor. In promoting the film, Zendaya made appearances at some of the biggest tournaments on tour. She stopped by Indian Wells, met Iga Swiatek, watched the action in Monte Carlo, and of course, made appearances at Wimbledon and the US Open, all while looking flawless, I might add. You know, I think we need a Challengers sequel. The 7th spot on our list goes to the legends who left pro tennis behind in 2024.
On centre court and millions watching who have loved Andy Murray and the brothers in arms.
Andy Murray, Angelique Kerber, Garbiñe Muguruza, Dominic Thiem, and of course, Rafael Nadal all said goodbye to the Pro Tour this year. Andy made his final pro appearance at Wimbledon and received a standing ovation following his opening round loss in doubles with his brother Jamie. He'd play his final career match at the Olympics later that summer. Kerber also chose to end her illustrious career at the Paris Olympics. Fellow Grand Slam champion Garbiñe Muguruza retired more quietly, sharing that she would not return to pro tennis after taking an almost year-long hiatus. Dominic Thiem walked away from the sport in front of a home crowd in Vienna.
The one and only Dominic Thiem!
And most recently, one of the greatest of all time retired as Rafael Nadal played his last match as a pro at Davis Cup. Those legends may be leaving the game, but Carlos Alcaraz is just getting started. He earned the number 6 spot by achieving the historic Channel Slam.
In fact, after 2 hours and 27 minutes, and they rise as one.
By winning Roland Garros and Wimbledon in the same calendar year, Alcaraz joins Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer as the only men since 1980 to win the 2 events back-to-back. Before that, only Bjorn Borg and Rod Laver won the Channel Slam on the men's side. The 2 titles marked Carlos's 3rd and 4th major wins, the 2nd highest of active male tennis players, and a mere 20 majors behind Novak. Number 5, the WTA Finals heads to Saudi Arabia. After 3 different host cities in 3 years, the WTA signed a deal with the Saudi Tennis Federation to take the tour's biggest event to Riyadh from 2024 to 2026. The kingdom had never hosted a WTA event, but offered a huge prize money purse of more than $15 million. equaling what the men earn at the ATP Finals in Turin. The deal to take the finals to Riyadh also includes plans to grow the sport in the region and provide playing opportunities for women and girls. Our fourth biggest story of the season, the 2024 Paris Olympics. For the first time since 1992, Olympic tennis was played on red clay. Roland Garros hosted the best players from around the world, and by the end of the event, Novak Djokovic was celebrating his first ever Olympic gold medal. His road to gold included one more match against his longtime rival, Rafael Nadal. Carlos Alcaraz walked away with the silver, and Lorenzo Musetti took bronze. In women's singles, Qinwen Zhang grabbed the gold with a win over Donna Vekic in the final. Top seed Iga Swiatek earned the bronze. Number 3, Jannik Sinner's doping scandal. In August, it was revealed that the world number 1 had twice tested positive for clostebol, a banned substance, back in March. Sinner appealed the positive test, claiming that his physiotherapist was using the substance to treat a cut on his finger. When Sinner received massages from the physio, the substance entered his system and triggered the positive result. An independent panel associated with the International Tennis Integrity Agency found that Sinner was not at fault and therefore was not subject to a ban. But later in the year, the World Anti-Doping Agency challenged that decision, resulting in a hearing to be scheduled at some point in the future. The second biggest story of 2024, Rafael Nadal's retirement from pro tennis.
Siempre Rafa Nadal!
Over 200 weeks at world number 1, 92 career titles, 22 majors, Olympic gold, and so many more career accomplishments throughout his 20-plus years on the tour. Rafael Nadal announced midway through 2023 that 2024 would be his final season.
Perhaps the last dance for Rafa Nadal at Roland Garros.
But Rafa didn't specify which tournament would be his last until October of this year, when he let fans know that his last event would be the Davis Cup Finals in November. He's one of the greatest to ever play the game, and the world of tennis will miss seeing Rafa on the courts. Before we get to our number 1 spot, here are some big stories that just missed out on making the top 10. Jasmine Paolini had a huge breakout season in 2024. After winning Dubai to claim her first ever 1,000 level trophy, the Italian made the Roland Garros and Wimbledon finals and cracked the top 5 in the world. Danielle Collins also had a huge season, notching a 15-match win streak that included 2 titles. The American brought her ranking up from 71 to number 10 in just 3 months. A double bounce scandal divided the tennis world during Jack Draper's victory over Felix Auger-Aliassime in Cincinnati. Unforced error by the umpire after this not-up call was missed on match point, resulting in a Draper win.
Did you not see the ball bounce on the floor?
It bounced on the court and then over.
On the floor.
Like after he hit it?
And now, our biggest story of 2024, the year of Jannik Sinner. The Italian set the tone for the season in January by winning his first major title at the Australian Open. Just months later, he'd win the Miami Open to claim his second Masters 1000 crown. By June, he'd claim the world number 1 ranking and stay there for the rest of the season. When it was all said and done, he'd finish 2024 with 2 slams, 3 Masters 1000 titles, 2 ATP 500 events, and the year-end championships. That translates to over $11 million in prize money and over 11,000 ranking points. The Italian is just the 8th man in history to garner over 10,000 ranking points in a season and ranks 5th all-time for the most points earned in a year.
Your 2024 U.S. Open men's champion, Jannik Sinner!
That does it for our top 10 list. We can't wait to see what 2025 brings. We'll see you next year.